Welcome back to the IBSP. Here's your host, Boxing New.
David Benavidez is clout chasing Canelo yet again. And look, let's break it down honestly and objectively as possible. And as you remember, David Benavidez said a few weeks ago, hey, I'm done with Canelo. I don't think he'll ever fight me. That fight is over. I'm moving on. I'm moving on to bigger and better things. I'm moving on with my life. I'm moving on with my career. He's no longer focused on Canelo Alvarez. That fight will not happen. He's moved on. You remember David said this. But then David, he does yet another interview about Canelo. He's already did one. Now he's doing a second interview all about Canelo. All about calling Canelo Alvarez a pussy and this and that. This guy is trashing Canelo's name. And his fight with David Morrell is just around the corner. But yet again, this man keeps doing interviews about Canelo Alvarez. It doesn't make any sense. Why is Canelo on your mind when you said that fight is done? That fight won't happen. It's over. You moved on. You're in a different weight class. Why do you keep talking about this man? I thought you moved on. It doesn't make any sense. And these David Benavidez fans are sitting here applauding it, kissing David's ass. Are you paying attention? David told you he's moved on. Why did he keep mentioning this man? David in the interview says, I feel like Canelo's a pussy. That's my opinion. I feel like Canelo and his fans are all scared of me. He also says it's a bunch of excuses not to fight. He says, I'm going to keep winning the fights I've got to win. Then David also goes on to state that if Canelo's still here in 5 years or 3 years and he's still at the top, our fight is going to be inevitable. So now he's talking about them fighting again. Now David is talking about him and Canelo possibly fighting again, and how in 3 or 5 years, if they're both doing good, he can get that Canelo fight, even though they're at different weights, even though David said he's done with the fight, even though David said he's not interested in the fight, even though David said he's even considering going up to cruiserweight. But now all of a sudden you're saying in 3 to 5 years that you and Canelo may end up fighting anyway? That makes no sense. This makes no sense. This makes no sense. What is David doing? Then David goes on to talk about, say, hey, after this fight, it's going to be the winner of Better BF Bivol. I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. Now, remember, David has already dismissed the Canelo Alvarez fight, said he's moved on, and that fight will never happen. Never forget he said that. So when Canelo Alvarez said last year that David Benavidez is using his name to boost his career, you better believe it. Because if no one's paying attention to David Benavidez versus Morrell, no one pays attention to David Benavidez by himself. He has to attach his name and his brand to Canelo Alvarez to get attention. This man is literally the biggest clout chaser in the sport of boxing.